as I was reading the story of Thomas Paine and the speech he wrote in George Washington and how he crossed the Delaware over Christmas, I was just inspired to share this, what I'm feeling. That speech, I'm going to read it right here. I posted it on my story. It's so important, and I want to encourage you with this. This is a speech that Thomas Paine wrote almost exactly 247 years ago. At this time, George Washington and his troops were holed up at Pigeon Forge. They had been defeated. They had been deserted. No other country would back them. It looked hopeless. They had lost all their battles. They were in dire straits. But George Washington knew that God had saved his life and had called him for something. He didn't know what, but he knew he'd called him for something. And here is the speech that Thomas Paine wrote that then inspired George Washington to rally the troops. He read it to his troops before they crossed the Delaware. Here's the speech. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. Woo, baby, I got goosebumps, man. I'm telling you guys, freedom, the price that we have put on freedom in America is pretty low, and it's being tested. And I would just like to prophesy. I would like to tell you that where America is at is I believe we are about to cross the Delaware. We are somewhere in that battle. The speech has been read. Thomas Paine has inspired the George Washingtons. We are ready to go. Our battle is different today, but we still have a battle. And the greater the battle, the greater the victory. The price that is going to be put on our freedom in the next generation will be marked by how we handle the times going forward in the next year. Guys, I believe that America is going to rise to the challenge. You know, it says that there was blood that marked from the Delaware River where the soldiers barely made it through to the village where they defeated those people, an impossible defeat to defeat that village, way outnumbered, bleeding. And that trail marked that was the price they paid. And when they got there, they had survived Pigeon Forge. They had survived the river. They had survived the 8-mile trek while they were bleeding in the snow. They dang sure weren't going to lose to that village of people. And they didn't. And that was the main marker for how America gained its freedom. And I prophesy that America is about to take down the village. The battle that looks impossible, where we're outnumbered, where we've been bleeding, where all odds are against us, where no one else will help us, where everyone has counted us out, where the people are discouraged, but there's enough people, and there's one leader, there's one George Washington, there's one Thomas Paine, there's one group of soldiers that will not be stopped. They're going forward. I don't care how much blood they're losing. It does not matter how hopeless it looks, because they know that they've been called for such a time as this. And this is the time when they lay it all down. They're going forward. They don't care. They don't have anything to lose. It's all the way to death. And I'm telling you, I feel in America, there are many people who are just waiting. They're waiting for the Thomas Paine speech to inspire them. And I want to tell you that there is so much ahead of us, and we will win because God has made America. We are a covenant nation. We will not lose. I don't care how hopeless it looks, how many corrupt judges rule against us, how evil our justice system, how terrible our laws and rules are, and how many elections we lose. At the end of the day, America will win. Freedom will win. Righteousness will win. Corruption will fall. These evil people are going down. It always works that way. They'll always be exposed. You cannot hide the kind of evil that America has been under for too long, and it's coming to an end. It's coming to a head. We're about to break through the river, make the march to the city, and take down the enemy. In Jesus' name, I decree it, I declare it, and I inspire you to get out and to make sure you're engaged. prayer walk your town, pray for this country, get involved in a group, make sure you're telling your friends of what's going on. No matter how much you dislike what's happening right now, engage in the battle because God has called you to be a frontline warrior.